Here come the lights. We've got a car approaching sideways.
Bottas took out both Red Bull cars.
He's pretty rude with Raikkonen there.
Oh dear, Roman Grosjean! And a big fire there.
F1 crashes that changed the sport forever. What's up, Speed Demons? Welcome back to DRS Activated, where we talk fast, think faster, and occasionally break the sound barrier with our hot takes. Today we're diving headfirst into the barrier, just like these cars did, to explore the crashes that didn't just end races, they rewrote the rulebook. These aren't just twisted metal moments, they're the split seconds that forced Formula One to look in the mirror and say, maybe we should, try to keep these drivers alive. Safety in F1 wasn't built on good intentions. It was built on this catastrophic moment that changed everything. Crash number 1, NIIKI Lauda's at Nervous in the Pass, 1976. Picture this. It's 1976. Safety is basically thoughts and prayers. And the Nürburgring is essentially 14 miles of good luck, don't die. Niki Lauda, already the world champion, tried to boycott the race because, get this, he thought maybe racing in fog on a track nicknamed Green Hell wasn't the smartest idea. Spoiler alert, he was right. His Ferrari turned into a fireball, trapping him for nearly a minute. The man literally had his face melted off and lost most of his right ear. But here's the kicker, this absolute legend was back racing just 6 weeks later with bloody bandages still on his head. The crash forced F1 to finally admit that maybe, just maybe, the Nürburgring was too dangerous. The Green Hell was dropped from the calendar, and suddenly driver safety concerns weren't just whining, they were legitimate. Crash number 2, Roger Williamson at Zandvoort, 1973. Before Lauda's crash came perhaps the most heartbreaking moment in F1 history. At the 1973 Dutch Grand Prix, Roger Williamson's car flipped and caught fire. What happened next was an absolute horror show of incompetence. While Williamson was trapped alive in his burning car, fellow driver David Purley stopped his own race to try to save him. Meanwhile, marshals stood watching, untrained and unequipped. Purley desperately tried to flip the car while begging for help, but no one came. Live on television, we watched a man burn to death while another tried desperately to save him. This wasn't just a crash, it was a system-wide failure that exposed the prehistoric fire marshal protocols. After this, fire crews were positioned around the entire circuit, and marshals finally got proper training and equipment. Crash number 3, ALT in Senna at Imola. May 1st, 1994, the blackest day in modern F1. The sport's brightest star, Ayrton Senna, crashed at the Tamburello corner at Imola. A suspension piece pierced his helmet, killing the 3-time world champion instantly.
Senna bateu forte. Ali na Tamburello. A batida muito forte.
But here's what makes this weekend even more horrific. It came just one day after rookie Roland Ratzenberger died in qualifying. 2 deaths in one weekend at the pinnacle of motorsport. The world was watching and F1 couldn't hide anymore. The response was swift and massive. The Grand Prix Drivers Association reformed, car designs were overhauled, and track safety standards were completely rewritten. The sport that had been dragging its feet suddenly found rocket boosters. Crash number 4, FELIPE, MASSA, Hungary, 2009. Imagine driving at 170 miles per hour when a 1-pound spring from another car smashes into your helmet. That's exactly what happened to Felipe Massa in 2009, fracturing his skull and putting him in a coma. The Brazilian was minding his business in qualifying when Rubens Barrichello's car shed a spring that bounced down the track like the world's deadliest ping pong ball. This freak accident highlighted a massive vulnerability: the driver's exposed heads. This crash directly contributed to the development of the controversial but life-saving halo device. Yes, that ugly thing on modern F1 cars that everyone complained about until it saved Charles Leclerc at Spa and Romain Grosjean in Bahrain. Crash number 5, Jules Bianchi at Suzuka 2014. In the pouring rain at the 2014 Japanese Grand Prix, Jules Bianchi's Marussia slid off track and underneath a crane that was recovering another car. The impact was catastrophic, causing injuries that Bianchi would never recover from, passing away 9 months later. This tragedy exposed the absolute madness of having heavy recovery vehicles on track during live racing conditions. The virtual safety car was introduced as a direct result, ensuring cars slow down in specific incident zones without needing a full safety car deployment. Jules' accident also accelerated development of the halo, which might have saved his life had it been implemented earlier. Crash number 6. Romain Grosjean'S fireball at Bahrain 2020. If you showed a non-F1 fan Romain Grosjean's Bahrain crash, they'd assume you were showing them a movie scene that was too unrealistic for Hollywood. His Haas car pierced a metal barrier, split in half, and erupted into a fireball that looked like something from an action film. For 28 eternal seconds, the world thought we'd just watched a man die on live TV. Then, like a phoenix, rising from literal flames, Grosjean emerged with only burns to his hands. This miracle escape showcased how far F1 safety had come. The halo, the survival cell, the fire-resistant clothing, and the lightning-fast medical response all worked in perfect harmony. The crash led to detailed investigations of barrier designs and further improvements to the already remarkable fireproof suits. Crash number 7, ZHOU GUANYU at Silverstone 2022. When GUANYU's Alfa Romeo flipped upside down at 160 miles per hour, skidded through gravel on its roll hoop, and got wedged between the tyre barrier and catch fence, it looked like something even Michael Bay would call a bit much. Yet ZHOU walked away virtually unscathed, demonstrating once again the remarkable safety progress in modern F1. But the crash exposed a serious issue. The roll hoop, designed to protect drivers in exactly this scenario, had failed completely. The FIA immediately strengthened roll hoop testing procedures, ensuring future cars would survive similar incidents with the structure intact. This crash was also yet another vindication of the halo device, which kept Zhou's head from contacting the ground during the terrifying slide. Crash number 8, Michael Schumacher's at Silverstone 1999. At the 1999 British Grand Prix, Michael Schumacher's Ferrari suffered brake failure and went straight into the barriers at Stowe Corner. The impact broke Schumacher's leg. When the pedals were pushed back into the cockpit, this crash, involving the sport's biggest star, highlighted a major vulnerability in F1 car design. The driver's feet and legs were dangerously exposed in frontal impacts. The FIA mandated strengthened footwells and higher crash test standards for the front of the cars. Modern F1 cars now have drastically improved frontal impact protection as a direct result, with the pedals designed to break away rather than crush the driver's legs. Number 9, Robert Kubica's at Canada 2007. Robert Kubica's crash in Montreal remains one of the most visually spectacular in F1 history. His BMW Saba hit the wall at 186 miles per hour, barrel rolled across the track, hit another barrier, and disintegrated around him. The miraculous part? Kubica suffered only a light concussion and a sprained ankle. This crash became a powerful advertisement for the safety improvements F1 had already made, particularly regarding the survival cell and crash structures. The data from this massive impact was invaluable for safety researchers, showing how energy dissipation systems were working in real-world conditions. It also led to further refinements in barrier designs and prompted more research into reducing the risks of side impacts. Crash number 10, Henry Surtees, Formula 2, 2009. Though not an F1 crash, the tragic death of Henry Surtees in Formula 2 sent shockwaves through all open-wheel racing. The son of F1 champion John Surtees was killed instantly when a loose wheel from another car struck his head. Coming just 1 week before Felipe Massa's similar accident in F1, these two incidents created undeniable momentum for head protection in open cockpit racing. The path from these accidents to the eventual adoption of the halo was long but direct. This tragedy demonstrated how interconnected motorsport safety is across different categories, with lessons from one series saving lives in others. The history of Formula One safety isn't written in rulebooks, it's written in twisted metal, burned scars and memorials. Each of these accidents represents a moment when the sport was forced to confront its own mortality and make fundamental changes. Today's drivers strap themselves into carbon fiber survival cells that can withstand forces that would have been fatal just decades ago. The sport remains dangerous. Nothing traveling at 220 miles per hour ever won't be. But the difference is night and day. So next time you hear someone complain about the halo being ugly or safety measures sanitizing the sport, remember the names we mentioned today. Remember the price that was paid for every safety innovation. If you found this examination of Formula One's critical safety evolution valuable, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing for more in-depth F1 content. I'm curious to hear your thoughts in the comments. Which safety innovation do you believe has been most crucial to protecting drivers over the years? This is DRS Activated, reminding you that in F1, sometimes you have to break things to make them stronger. See you in the next one.